Questions are not always enemy of the faith, but sometimes they are the doorway of a deeper faith journey. What do I mean? So, my name is Vahan. I'm serving as a Christian in Turkey in Middle East, and in this video I'm trying to share about my experience of having questions to God before I came to Christ, before Jesus saved me, and some questions after Jesus saved me, and we are trying to find out, are they really enemies of faith? Let's start. I can see there are so many people in the Bible, like our faith heroes, at least my faith heroes, like King David, like others. They had questions to God. Job, they had questions to God. Like David asked, why? Why, Lord? When? How? He was asking, where are you, Lord? These questions were coming from his experience because he was suffering and he was waiting God, and he was not seeing God, and he was asking why, where. I remember Thomas, one of the disciples of Jesus, said, I won't believe before I see. He wanted to see Jesus' hands, Jesus' wounds. So the people of God in Bible, even they have questions. They had questions. So maybe you are a Christian, maybe you are not a Christian, and still you are having questions to God. God, where are you? God, what is this? God, can you explain this to me? I don't understand. What is this confusion between numbers? What are these confusions between these texts of Bible? Or maybe in your suffering, you are asking, God, if you exist, where are you? Where were you when I was suffering? So I won't have all the answers in this video too. I have to say this. But I'm trying to talk about my experience, and this happened about maybe 25 years ago, 28 years ago. Okay, in my story, I'm the last one in the family who came to Christ. So first, my mom, Jesus saved my mom, then my father, then my brother, then my sister, and I'm the last one. But I remember when they started to pray together, all family, not me, but 4 of them, and their teacher was coming to our house and teaching Bible, scriptures, how to live with Jesus. I was listening, and at those days I was reconsidering, maybe this Bible is true, maybe there are things that I have to learn. So I started to read Bible, and I came to a passage which was talking about a fig tree and Jesus. So in the story, Jesus with his disciples sees a fig tree. He sees the leaf, he come close to the fig tree, and he didn't saw fruit. So leaf was there but no fruit, and Jesus cursed the tree. And I read this passage from different Bibles, and I find out there is a word there, and it explains Jesus went early. So let's say fig tree is giving fruit on July. Jesus went to there on May, and he couldn't find fruit, and he cursed the tree. Then immediately, oh, wait a minute, there's something here. And I start to question this. I asked to other people, to the teachers, so why this is happening? And they were saying like there must be fruit, etc. And the concept of Jesus is the creator were already told by them to me. Like they were saying, Jesus is the creator, everything created by him. And I was thinking, because I was involved with graphic design, with software design, etc. So I imagined like this. Let's imagine a fig tree. It has a software, and in software it's written. So when it will give leaf, when it will give fruit, when it will go dry, it's written in tree software. So I was thinking, who wrote this software? I mean, who programmed this fig tree, let's say, to give fruit on July? Jesus, right? I was asking this to teachers too. Who made it? Jesus. Who created it? Jesus. Then he went early, let's say on May, and there was no fruit there. Okay, That's whose fault? I asked this question. Jesus couldn't find fruit. That's whose fault? Because in my mind, I was thinking that's Jesus' fault. Why? Because he went early. If he would go on July, he would find fig, but he couldn't found on May because he designed the tree as the tree will give fruit on July. I asked this question to other people and I couldn't get a convincing answer, very honest. Then I started pray. God, I don't understand this. I want to believe you, but this is very interesting passage. I don't get it. So explain me. And no explanation. Weeks, months, no explanation. And the chapters like this, passages like this, kept me from coming to Jesus and giving my life to Jesus months. So, was God angry to me when I was asking this question? I don't know. I don't think so. Was it a sin to ask a question like this? I'm not sure. Why? Because who was asking this question? My mind, right? And who gave my mind to me? God. Just like He created the fig tree, He created me too. He gave me a mind. And this mind, my brain, was asking this question. Why? Because He went early. But the good thing is, this is His grace. There is difference between asking questions to run away from God or to understand God. So, what I mean, motivation is very important, I believe, when we are asking questions. What is the motivation? Because sometimes we ask the questions to run away from God because we don't like the other things that God says. It may seem to us like rules, like laws. I don't want to be that person in law, in rules. I want to run away from God. And now I found an evidence, a question that I can run away from God. Or the other way is, I want to know God. I want to understand Him. That's why I'm asking question. By God's grace, my question, motivation was not run away from God. I wanted to understand, is He real? Who is He? Who is God? Because there are other religions who explains God. Which one is real? That's why I was asking this question. By His grace. By His grace. So after a few months, Jesus convinced my heart to bow down to Him and give my life to Him. Repent from my old life and receive His grace into my life. But this wasn't because I got my answer about fig tree. I didn't get my answer about this fig tree. I remember the night that I was crying and repenting and asking God to forgive my sins. Still, fig tree questions was there. What I experienced that night, fully God's love. I experienced God that night. That's another story. I told that story in one of the videos and I may talk about it again. But I didn't get my answer. So probably you are asking, what about the answer? What about fig tree? Yes. Years after years when I was studying and reading Bible, God gave the answer miraculously to me. But this happened so much later than I came to Christ. Then Jesus saved me. So much later I got my answer. Let's imagine God is a father, our father in heaven. And how old is He? Probably older than you, right? Much older than us. Older than this creation, right? And we are just 20 years old, 40 years old, 90 years old, 150 years old people. But still, we are so young if we compare with His life. So, when we come to Jesus, when we find God, we hold His hand as His little child, and the journey starts. We walk together. And this starts with trust. We give our life by His grace. He may talk about many things, but it is possible that we are not grown yet. We don't understand everything. I have kids, and my kids, they don't understand everything that I do. They don't understand everything that I told to them. Every story. I try to make it simple, as much as they can understand. But many times they don't understand. I say don't do it. They don't understand why. But I do understand. They will suffer if they do. I say don't go that way. They don't understand why. But I know that way. The thing is they don't understand. And through these years that I tried to walk with Jesus, with God, I admit that I don't understand everything. It doesn't mean that I won't understand everything until my end life, but maybe at this age, I'm not understanding. I'm not grown yet. I do understand many things. I got my answers in many areas. For example, this fig tree example. I got my answer. I had other questions through these years. And by His grace, I learned a lot. But I still have questions. I have bigger questions right now. These questions sometimes they come from my experience, sometimes they come from my Bible reading, studying things. I do have questions. But it doesn't mean I won't get my answers. I will. Not all of them maybe, but some of them. Because this is journey, right? You walk with someone and day by day you learn more about him. You learn more about him. We cannot expect to learn everything about God before we start to walk with him, right? Or in the first week when we start to live with someone, we cannot expect to learn everything about him in the first week that we are living with him, right? It takes time. It takes time. But I encourage you, our Father loves us and He wants to teach us. But the more important thing is, He wants us to walk with Him. That's the way. It is not easy to stand from far away, look to God and ask why this is like this, why this is. Well, you are not coming close. You don't know. You just look and ask questions and, tell me, can we expect from a pilot to explain everything about his journey from far away with a book? Or which one is better? Going with pilot, walking with pilot, living with a pilot, or experiencing a pilot's experience on the plane and seeing its experience and during the journey asking questions. Which one is more beneficial? I do believe second way is more beneficial. If we just watch, if we see, if we walk, we may get our answers. We may learn deeper. Well, there is a story which I'm not sure is it true or not, but the idea of the story really may give an illustration about this situation. William Shakespeare, they say in the story, he reads Psalm 23 in every place that he travels. So he goes village to village and he plays a drama and he reads Psalm 22. Lord is my shepherd, and he goes away. And in a village, he reads the psalm, and then a person comes and says, we have an old person in the village. Can you please allow him to read this psalm too? And an old man comes, and at the front, he reads the full psalm. And everybody who listens starts to cry. And Shakespeare goes to this man and asks, for years I'm reading these psalms in my dramas. And in none of them I experienced like this. None of them people cried like this. So what is the secret? What is your secret? Why people are crying when you read it? And the old man says, you know the psalm, I know the shepherd. So knowing the text, knowing the questions is different. Knowing the shepherd is different. So I do believe the best way of having our answers is not knowing the scriptures. Well, we need to know the scriptures, we need to read them. But the best way is, which I do believe we are called to do, knowing the shepherd, walking with the shepherd. So the final summary, maybe whether you are a Christian or not, you may have some questions about God, about Bible, about faith, about Jesus. So if you have questions, you are welcome with the faith journey. And I don't think we should fear. I don't think God, the creator of everything, fears from our questions. But I do believe He is willing to answer. But journey is required. the best way. So maybe with these questions, he is inviting you in a great journey with him. Anyway, thanks for watching. God bless you. Bye bye.